All right, let's dive into another exciting match, shall we? Today we're breaking down the New York Cowboys versus the NJ Titans, match number 3. And wow, talk about a wild ride.
This one really kept us on the edge of our seats, didn't it? So much happened, so many twists and turns. It's hard to know where to even begin.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 2 centuries in a single T20 match. That's something you see every day, right? And the ending, oh man, the ending was just
It
nail-biting.
was a real roller coaster of emotions, wasn't it?
Absolutely. So for our listeners, let's set the stage here. The Cowboys won the toss and chose to bat first, which seems pretty standard in T20. Did that decision pay off for them the way they hoped, though?
Well, initially it looked like a brilliant move. Don't forget, the Cowboys have Mukhtar Ahmed, who's arguably the most powerful batsman in the league, opening for them.
Right, and he's known for, like, setting a furious pace right from the start.
Exactly.
And he lived up to that reputation in this match, didn't he? I mean, he blasted an unbeaten 123 runs the first century of the season in just 59 balls.
That's some serious hitting. Just incredible power and precision.
Yeah, and, for anyone out there who might not be, like, super familiar with T20 cricket, that kind of strike rate, it's just phenomenal. It's not just about hitting the ball hard. It's about, like, finding the gaps, rotating the strike. Strategically, it's almost like demoralizing for the bowlers.
Oh, absolutely. It completely disrupts their rhythm and puts so much pressure on them to, contain the flow of runs.
And you could see the Titans were feeling that pressure. They were struggling to find an answer. But
Yeah.
then their bowler, Sanjay Krishnamurti, he really turned things around, at least for a little while.
He did. Morty managed to take a 4-wicket haul, which, let me tell you, is a huge achievement against a batting lineup as strong as the Cowboys.
Okay, now hold on. For those tuning in who might be new to the world of cricket, can you break down what exactly a 4-wicket haul means?
Sure. So basically, it means Morty dismissed 4 of the Cowboys' batsmen. It's a really big deal because, every wicket you take slows down the momentum of the batting team, puts pressure on the new batsmen coming in, and it can really swing the game in your favor.
Right, so even though Morty was putting up a good fight, the Cowboys still managed to end their innings with a massive total. 213 runs. I mean, I remember watching and thinking, okay, surely this has got to be a winning score, right?
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? I mean, a target of 214 runs, that's like climbing Mount Everest, especially in a T20 match. It's incredibly difficult.
Definitely. It puts a huge amount of pressure on the chasing team. They basically have to go all out from the very beginning, and that always carries the risk of losing wickets early on.
Exactly. You have to score quickly, but you can't afford to be reckless because losing early wickets can really derail your chase.
And, well, that's exactly what happened to the Titans, right? They lost a couple of very crucial wickets early in their innings.
It was a really tough spot to be in. You could almost feel the pressure mounting with every dot ball. I bet even the most diehard Titans fans were starting to lose hope at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it really looked like the Cowboys had them on the ropes. But, and this is where things get really interesting, the Titans had a secret weapon. And it turned out to be none other than Sanjay Krishnamurti again. Now, this is where things get crazy.
Like, who could have predicted that? Morty, who had already bowled so well earlier, walks out to bat and just starts smashing the ball all over the place. It was like a completely different player.
Right. It was incredible to watch. He scored a century, 104 runs off only 49 deliveries. I mean, a bowler hitting a century in T20, that's already rare enough.
Exactly. You just don't see that very often.
But to do it after taking 4 wickets, that's almost unheard of.
It's insane. It really shows you what kind of all-round talent this guy has.
And the way he did it, it wasn't just mindless hitting, was it?
No, not at all. He was picking his shots carefully, finding the gaps, even manipulating the field. It was like watching a masterclass in controlled aggression.
He wasn't doing it all alone, though, right? Didn't Joshua James play a big part in that chase, too?
Yeah, for sure. James was the perfect supporting act, wasn't he? Scoring a quick 43 runs off just 22 balls.
Yeah, he was.
That partnership between Morty and James, it was crucial in turning the tide for the Titans.
I can only imagine what the Cowboys were thinking at this point. They must have been in shock, right?
I'm sure they were. I mean, they set this massive target and everything seemed to be going their way, then suddenly, boom.
Everything flipped on its head.
Exactly. And, it just goes to show you that in T20, things can change so quickly, can't they?
For sure. 1 or 2 good performances can really make all the difference.
Absolutely.
Now, the Cowboys didn't give up without a fight, did they? Usman Shinwari picked up a couple wickets towards the end there, but by then, the Titans had all the momentum.
Yeah, Shinwari bowled well, but the damage was already done, wasn't it?
Right. And then finally, with everyone on the edge of their seats, Sanjay Krishnamurti, this guy who had already done the impossible, hits the winning runs. I mean, what a finish. What a game.
Unbelievable. What a performance by the Titans.
Talk about an emotional roller coaster. I mean, this win, coming from behind like that, what does something like this do for a team's confidence?
Oh, I think it's huge. I mean, chasing down a target like that after being in such a bad position, it shows they have resilience and it shows they can handle pressure.
Right.
It proves they can win even when the odds are stacked against them. And I think for the Cowboys, it's a bit of a wake-up call.
Yeah, it shows that even when you're on top, you can't afford to relax in T20.
Exactly. Anything can happen.
Hmm.
Okay, so we've talked about all the crazy twists and turns in this match. What would you say is the biggest takeaway for you?
That's a good question. I think for me, it's the sheer power of individual brilliance. What Sajid Krishnamurti did in this match, it was just extraordinary. He dominated with both bat and ball, and it was ultimately his performance that won the game for the Titans.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how often we see these kinds of performances, in other sports. Those moments where one player just takes over and almost single-handedly wins it for their team. Are they just like flukes, or are they part of what makes sports so exciting to watch?
Yeah, the good question. I mean, you see it in basketball sometimes, right?
Right.
A player just gets hot and can't mull a shot. Or in football, a quarterback who just throws touchdown after touchdown.
Exactly. Those are the moments that give you goosebumps. And they're not limited to just sports either. You see it in music, in art, in business.
Right. It's like those times when someone just seems to tap into something special, something beyond their normal abilities. And it's just captivating to watch.
Absolutely. And I think those moments, they stick with us. They become part of the story.
Totally. They're the stories we tell and retell, the legends.
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, they inspire us a little bit too, right? Even if we're not athletes or artists ourselves, I think seeing someone achieve something remarkable, it can be really motivating.
It's true. It reminds us that we all have that potential, that ability to push beyond our limits and achieve something extraordinary.
Absolutely.
So to kind of wrap up our deep dive into this unbelievable match between the Cowboys and the Titans,
Yeah.
I think the biggest takeaway is that in sports, just like in life, you just never know what's going to happen. I mean, we saw a dominant batting performance, an amazing bowling comeback, and then this unbelievable chase, all led by a player who seemed to defy all odds.
Yeah, it was truly a match for the ages, wasn't it? And I think it reminds us that even when things look impossible, there's always a chance for a comeback. There's always that possibility for something extraordinary to happen.
Exactly.
Ah.
And that's what keeps us coming back for more, isn't it? The thrill of the unknown, the excitement of seeing people push themselves to their limits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the next time you're watching a game, any game, remember this match. Keep an eye out for those moments of brilliance, for those unexpected turns of events. And who knows, you might just witness the next Sanjay Krishnamurti emerge, ready to rewrite the record books.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.